Today, we're taking on quite a journey. We're looking at a city that presents, I think, one of the most fascinating contradictions, really, in the whole Atlantic, Santa Cruz de Tenerife.
It really does.
Our mission, basically, is to figure out how this really crucial geopolitical capital manages to be both a major global maritime player and an incredibly preserved natural sanctuary. It's quite the balancing act.
That is.
So we're diving deep into Santa Cruz, often just called Santa Cruz, second biggest city in the Canaries.
Right.
And we really have to kick things off with this claim, this thing that puts it on the map globally. And it's not just about tourism.
No, definitely not.
Our sources confirm it. Back in 2012, The Guardian, the big UK newspaper, they put Santa Cruz de Tenerife on this very short list. 5 best places in the entire world to live.
Yes, that's huge. An elite designation, absolutely.
It is, isn't it? And that immediately, it sets the bar for our whole discussion today.
It really does. A ranking like that, well, it isn't handed out lightly. It suggests Santa Cruz has found this really rare balance. You've got the high-level admin function, the intense global links, the modern architecture, and this amazing quality of life that seems rooted in, well, environmental preservation.
So it's not just some regional capital.
No, it tells us it's potentially a global model.
Okay. Let's unpack this then. We need to start at the beginning, right? The basics, geography, political status, because you can't really get the quality of life part until you grasp the strategic weight this city carries.
Exactly. So let's start with location. Northeast quadrant of Tenerife Island. Now, while it's on an island, its real identity comes from its spot in the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
Geographically, it sits about 210 kilometers. That's roughly 130 miles off the northwest coast of Africa. It's, pretty close.
Okay, so that close proximity, that suggests maybe an African influence or at least a strong logistical connection. Makes sense, thinking about old trade routes.
Precisely. But then you get the political reality, which is the crucial contrast here. The distance to the nearest bit of mainland Spain, the country it's part of, is a massive 1,300 kilometers. That's 810 miles.
Wow, okay. That's a long way.
It is.
Yeah.
Think about the logistics, the psychology of that isolation. It's essentially a Spanish and European outpost, way out there, highly dependent on controlling the sea routes and being pretty self-sufficient.
Right. That physical distance, that isolation, it makes its importance as an institution even more striking. It's not just like a branch office out there.
No, it has to function as the government on the ground.
Which leads us straight to its political power base, which is substantial.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz holds 3 key capital titles all at once. It's the capital of the island, Tenerife. It's the capital of the whole province of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. And it's one of the 2 capitals of the entire Canary Islands archipelago.
Sharing that status with Las Palmas.
Right, shared with Las Palmas on Gran Canaria.
That sharing thing often confuses people, I think. But historically, it wasn't always shared, was it? It used to be the center.
That's a really important point. The sources emphasize that history. Between 1833, that's when Spain set up its modern regional divisions, and 1927, for almost a century, Santa Cruz was the sole capital of the Canaries.
The only one.
The only one. Singular administrative political power. That was before the archipelago got formally split into 2 provinces.
So that period must have really cemented Santa Cruz as the anchor, the original institutional core. That history probably creates a lot of political weight, maybe even a bit of lingering tension with Las Palmas.
It absolutely does. And that historical position explains why you see this massive concentration of government institutions still in Santa Cruz today. Even though the capital title is shared, the administrative depth here is just profound.
So what kind of institutions are we talking about?
Well, first off, it's home to the Parliament of the Canary Islands. That's the main legislative body, making regional laws, approving budgets, holding the government accountable for the whole archipelago.
Okay, major.
Then there's the Audience of Accounts of the Canary Islands. Think of it as the regional supreme audit office. They scrutinize public spending, keep things financially accountable.
Right, the financial watchdog. And you mentioned the Captaincy General. That sounds quite historic, military even. Fits the strategic location.
It's deeply strategic. The Captaincy General is the historical and often still the current high command military headquarters for the islands.
Makes sense.
When you're 1,300 kilometers from the mainland, you need a strong, centralized defense command, right? Santa Cruz provides that. It's the heart of Spain's military presence in the mid-Atlantic.
Okay. Now, we touched on the shared executive power.
Okay.
That sounds complicated. How does that rotation actually work with the presidency?
It's formalized. There's a 4-year cycle for the Canaries Ministry of the Presidency. So, every 4 years, the official seat of the executive branch shifts between Santa Cruz and Las Palmas.
Right, back and forth.
And beyond just the presidency, Santa Cruz permanently houses exactly half of all the ministries and boards of the Canarias government.
In half. Okay.
Yeah, exactly half, which forces this constant high-level coordination, travel between the islands. It's a system designed, to balance power, but it absolutely confirms Santa Cruz's role as one of the 2 main pillars of governance.
And all that political and institutional weight, it naturally draws people in. We see that in the population numbers, which seem huge relative to the island's overall size.
They are. The administrative population itself is significant, yeah.
Right.
Around 211,436 people, based on 2024 figures. But the urban zone, the area where the city functionally lives and breathes, it expands way beyond that.
How far?
Sources suggest the urban reach is massive, covering somewhere between, say, 507,000 and 538,000 people.
500,000 people just packed into that northeast corner of Tenerife.
It's an incredible concentration. This density means nearly half of Tenerife's entire population lives either in Santa Cruz or right next to it.
Wow.
So it's not just a capital city. It's the singular demographic engine, the economic engine, the infrastructure hub for the whole island. And that puts immense pressure on resources, on planning.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that concentration, it must funnel almost everything through its most critical asset, the port. We definitely need to talk about the port of Santa Cruz now, because that seems to be the engine turning its isolation into global importance.
The port is absolutely the reason Santa Cruz is on the global map. It's an indispensable communications hub. It functions as this critical nexus, basically connecting Europe to Africa and then connecting Europe and Africa over to the Americas.
The whole mid-Atlantic pivots there.
Pretty much. Without this port, the whole geopolitical game in the mid-Atlantic looks entirely different.
How does that show up in, actual activity? What makes it one of Spain's busiest?
Well, it handles vital commercial traffic containers, bulk cargo, everything needed to supply the islands themselves, but also for transshipment between continents.
Right.
Its location is just perfect for refueling stops, maintenance stops for those long-haul sea routes. Ships can save days using Santa Cruz. And, of course, it's the absolute focal point for all the inter-island passenger and freight traffic within the Canaries, too.
And connecting back to that sort of global leisure status, its role for cruise ships must be huge.
Oh, massive. For passenger traffic, especially the cruise industry, Santa Cruz is a major strategic stopover. Pretty much any cruise ship sailing from Europe towards the Caribbean, crossing the whole Atlantic, relies on Santa Cruz.
For supplies, passenger changes.
Both. Mandatory resupply, passenger turnover is just embedded in that global itinerary. It confirms its place as this high-speed, high-volume hub of operations.
Okay, so we've got the logistical weight, the political gravity, the sheer density of the place, all that institutional power. It needs a physical presence, right? A heart for the city. Let's pivot now to part 2. Architecture, culture, the urban core. How does all that power actually look on the ground?
Well, what's really interesting here is that Santa Cruz, unlike maybe some cities that grow slowly around an ancient core, has really embraced its modern status.
Yeah.
There's been a definite commitment to contemporary design.
You can see it.
Yeah, the sources point to a recent, pretty significant construction boom, driven by economic growth, its political status.
And the result of that boom is actually kind of surprising, isn't it? Santa Cruz's skyline, it's the 6th highest in all of Spain.
Yeah. When you think about the cities, it ranks just behind Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia. You realize Santa Cruz is really punching above its weight for an island capital.
It really is.
That height, that density, it signals ambition, it signals wealth, modernity. It sort of challenges the global idea of what an island city should look like. It feels like a very deliberate statement. We are a dynamic, forward-looking economic center.
And that ambition, you see it best in its architectural icons, right? The visual highlights that really define the city's modern face. We absolutely have to talk about the Auditorio de Tenerife.
The Auditorio. It's so much more than just a building. It's like a sculpture.
It really is striking.
It's specifically highlighted as a major example of contemporary architecture. The design. People say it looks like a cresting wave or maybe a huge sail. It captures that maritime energy, that drama, right there on the waterfront. It instantly gives the city this recognizable global visual brand.
And kind of mirroring that drama, but on a different scale, are the buildings that define the city's vertical reach. The Torres de Santa
Those
Cruz.
Twin Towers, yeah.
Yeah.
They are genuine landmarks of just massive scale. Officially, they are the tallest twin towers in all of Spain,
Tallest twins. Wow.
reaching 120 meters. That's about 390 feet. They really embody that vertical ambition of the city. They house important commercial spaces, residential functions. They're the undeniable symbols of Santa Cruz's economic muscle and modern architectural look.
Okay, so if those buildings represent the skyline, the ambition, what's the central spot, the beating heart on ground level?
That would have to be the Plaza de España. It's described as the central nerve center of Santa Cruz.
The nerve center, okay.
It's the essential gathering place. It's the biggest square in the city, a focal point for admin functions, political demonstrations sometimes, social life definitely. It's really where the power structure meets the people.
And moving out from that nerve center, thankfully, the city starts to breathe a bit, right?
Exactly.
I'm thinking about the green spaces, which must contribute so much to that quality of life ranking we mentioned.
Absolutely essential. Balancing out all that high density is the main urban oasis,
Yeah.
Parque Garcia Sanabria. It functions as this large urban park, centrally located right within the city. For a place defined by such dense growth and high-rises, having a big, accessible green lung like that is crucial. Crucial for well-being, for the livability the Guardian picked up on.
And you also see the influence of that sort of nerve center idea extending into academics, too. The city's a place for learning, for specialization.
Indeed. Santa Cruz hosts several key faculties from the main university, La Laguna University. And you can see a clear link to the city's dual identity here.
How so?
Well, there's the Fine Arts School, which obviously feeds into the city's strong cultural life, the spectacle of carnival.
That makes sense.
And then, naturally, there's the Naval Sciences faculty, essential for training the people needed to run one of Spain's busiest international ports.
Of course. Okay, speaking of culture and spectacle, we absolutely cannot talk about Santa Cruz without spending some real time on the event that grabs global attention every single year, the carnival.
Ah, the Carnival of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. It's not just a party, is it? It's this highly organized, incredibly elaborate, just massive cultural phenomena.
It looks incredible.
Our sources are clear on the scale. It is one of the world's largest carnivals, explicitly ranked as the second largest globally. That's a huge achievement.
Second only to Rio? Is that right?
That's the context, yeah.
Okay.
Second only to Rio de Janeiro. That really puts the scale into perspective. We're talking weeks of intense preparation, unbelievable costumes, huge crowds.
Must take over the whole city.
Oh, no, it does.
Yeah.
It requires the entire city administration to basically function at peak capacity just to manage the celebration.
And that huge scale, that explains why the sources mention this really high cultural ambition it has.
Exactly. The carnival currently aspires to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Wow.
Getting that designation would really solidify its international cultural importance. Not just as an event, but as a tradition worthy of global preservation. The artistry involved, the history, it's astounding.
Before we shift gears towards the natural side, let's just quickly ground ourselves in its history again. The name itself, Santa Cruz de Tenerife. It's quite literal, isn't it?
It is. It's a very direct explanation of the city's founding moment. The name means Holy Cross of Tenerife.
Right.
It refers to the immediate action taken when the city was founded by the Spanish conquistadors. They planted a Christian cross right at the center of the new settlement. That became the marker of its colonial beginning and, well, its enduring identity.
A very clear symbol of its, relatively speaking, recent foundation as a modern city.
Okay.
But to truly understand why this bustling, modern, politically complex place got ranked among the world's 5 best places to live, we have to look beyond the skyscrapers and the port. We need to get into this staggering contradiction that is Part 3, the natural sanctuary.
Yes, but before we fully embrace the natural world around Santa Cruz, we have to acknowledge something crucial. That land wasn't empty when that holy cross was planted.
Good point.
We need to start with its ancient roots, connect the modern city back to millennia of human history here.
This wasn't a blank slate. The area was home to the Guanches, the original inhabitants of Tenerife, right?
Exactly. The specific area where Santa Cruz now sits was known to the Guanches as Añazo, or sometimes Añaza, and there's archaeological proof of continuous human occupation right here for about 2,000 years.
2,000 years.
Yeah, connecting the land back to the ancient Guanche kingdom, the Menciado of Anaga, which was the most easterly kingdom on the island.
And the sources give a specific, quite famous example of this deep history, the mummy of San Andres. What does that discovery tell us?
The mummy of Santa Cruz is hugely significant. It provides critical archaeological proof of the Guanches' pre-colonial culture. Specifically, their complex burial practices, which involved mummification techniques unique to the Canary Islands.
Wow, really? Mummification?
Yes, it's a direct link, a preserved artifact reminding us that this modern administrative hub is literally built right on top of 2,000 years of indigenous human civilization. A civilization completely isolated from Europe until the colonial era.
That's quite profound. Okay, now for the question that really defines Santa Cruz's excellence, I think. How can a city with such high density, all this political and commercial weight, Spain's sixth highest skyline, how can it possibly maintain the kind of environmental quality needed for that Guardian ranking?
This raises that really important question, yes. And the answer is in a truly staggering statistic about its municipal territory. It's almost unbelievable.
Okay.
The sources reveal that a massive 82% of the municipal territory of Santa Cruz de Tenerife is officially designated and managed as a natural area.
82%. Sorry, did you say 82?
82%, yes.
That number just seems to fly in the face of everything we've just discussed. The density, the court traffic, 4/5 of its land area is undeveloped and protected.
That's the critical distinction of Santa Cruz. This incredible preservation ratio makes it the third largest municipality in all of Spain, with the highest percentage of natural territory.
Third largest.
Yeah, and just think about the two cities that beat it. Cuenca at 87% and Cáceres at 83%. Both large municipalities, yes, but they're traditionally inland cities. Santa Cruz is a major international port, a high-rise capital. Its success in preservation is extraordinary because of the intense geopolitical and demographic pressure it's under.
So it suggests the city's actual footprint, the developed area, must be incredibly concentrated, leaving all the surrounding rugged land, probably mountainous land, just untouched and protected.
And the main reason for this huge protected area is primarily thanks to one thing, the Macizo de Anaga. The Anaga Massif,
Yeah.
this vast, rugged, large part of that natural territory holds such unique ecological value that it got the highest international recognition. UNESCO declared it a biosphere reserve in 2015.
A UNESCO biosphere reserve. That's a profound commitment, isn't it? It means it's not just a park. It's a zone for conservation, for research, for sustainable development. Often has those ancient laurel forests, steep ravines, misty peaks.
Exactly. And the commitment goes beyond just the designation itself. Santa Cruz de Tenerife actually hosts the first headquarters of the UNESCO Center in the Canary Islands.
Oh, interesting.
This institutional presence really reinforces that commitment to environmental study, to stewardship. It makes the city a global center, in a way, for understanding island biodiversity and conservation. It creates this complete contrast, the political capital on one hand and the natural capital on the other.
That duality must be visually stunning. You've got the sharp, modern lines of the Auditorio and the Torres, and then just a short drive away, you're plunged into this globally significant, almost pristine natural sanctuary.
And of course, all this extensive coastline and natural territory provides the essential leisure options that drive that high quality of life score. The sources mention Playa de las Teresitas, Los Teresitas Beach.
The famous one with the golden sand.
That's the one. It's a hugely popular spot. It's within the municipal district, so it's easy for that huge population nearby to get to, but it's situated outside the main city bustle. It offers that perfect escape valve.
Okay, so if we tie all these threads together now, back to the bigger picture, that Guardian verdict from 2012, it suddenly makes a lot more sense. It clicks into place. They weren't just looking at the downtown area, were they?
No, they were clearly assessing the whole package. They recognized that Santa Cruz somehow manages this incredible balancing act. Geopolitical administration, continental trade, massive population pressure, while holding on to this deep connection to its natural roots. That 82% preservation figure is key.
Right.
And the fact that its ambition reaches towards World Heritage status for its carnival, it just shows a mastery, really, of balancing commerce, culture, and conservation.
And the other places they put Santa Cruz alongside on that list, they confirm its elite status, don't they?
Absolutely. You're talking about the bohemian vibe of Cihangir in Istanbul, the counterculture edge of St. Pauli in Hamburg, the sheer natural beauty of Maui's north coast in Hawaii, and the famously livable city of Portland, Oregon.
Quite the company.
It is. And Santa Cruz fits right in, offering its own unique blend, that Latin energy, the modern development, and this extraordinary access to nature.
It's the synthesis, as you said.
It is. You've got the historical foundation, sole capital for nearly a century, the political muscle parliament, captaincy general, the visual impact, Spain's sixth highest skyline, and yet Overwhelmingly, it's defined by protected nature, anchored by that UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, the Anaga Massif.
It really is a masterclass, isn't it? How a city can operate at that global high-velocity standard without sacrificing the basic elements of quality of life and environmental care.
The sources have really painted a complete, quite complex picture of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. It's so much more than just an island capital. It's a critical strategic hub, steeped in 2,000 years of history, from the Guanches and the Mummy of San Andres right up to the Tours de Santa Cruz and the massive carnival.
And the key takeaway, it has to be that profound duality. The city just manages this tension, being a symbol of intense commerce and administration, one of Spain's busiest ports, while at the same time dedicating 4/5 of its land to vital natural areas. That balance seems to be the defining thing that earned it that global recognition.
Which leads us, I think, to a final provocative thought based on everything we've discussed. Given its unique reliance on being this critical maritime link between three continents and its massive commitment to environmental preservation, what might the sources suggest are the main external threats to Santa Cruz's model? Are they maybe facing unique challenges, perhaps from shifts in global trade patterns, or maybe the effects of climate change like rising sea levels, that could seriously jeopardize this very delicate balance they've achieved between high commerce and high quality of life?
That challenge, how to sustain that delicate world-class balance against those big external global pressures. That's definitely something for you, the listener, to mull over as you think about the future of this unique Atlantic crossroads.